Latrice here with Sterling Law Offices, and today I'm with one of my favorite process servers, Mark from Due Process Service.
Hello.
Hi Mark, how are you?
Great, thanks.
I've known Mark for just as long as I've been doing family law, and Mark just celebrated his 10th anniversary with Due Process Service.
Correct, right.
And I use Mark because Mark is really good at what he does. And just to give you a little background, the reason why you got started in this was...
Well, I worked as a paralegal in a law firm for most of my career, over 20 years. And as a paralegal, I had to hire process servers. And I just found it very difficult to find a good one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Process servers that would not get back to me, not give me updates, take too long, and sometimes even miss important deadlines.
And so especially for us as attorneys, our clients want to know if someone's been served because,
Right.
you know, in order for a lawsuit to begin, you have to give that person notice, which is what service is. What you're doing is we file documents with the court, and he's giving them to the other party so they know that the lawsuit has begun.
Correct.
So a lot of times, when us attorneys, we go through the process of drafting all the paperwork, that's a big deal because they want to know if their case is resolved. And it's true. I've had unfortunate experience of process servers not telling me if the other party actually ever got it, or taking a long time getting a document called an affidavit, which we'll talk about briefly, back to me so that I know that service was done. And then that creates more anxiety with my clients. So what I like about my experience with your practice and company is that you call me.
Correct, yeah. We
let me know
provide
right away.
real-time updates, right? And especially in a family law matter.
Yeah.
We like your client to be notified as soon as possible that service has been accomplished, so they know that the matter is out there and the other person knows about it.
Right. So I just wanted them to understand a little bit about what your job is like,
Sure.
because I think there's probably no information or a little fear. So when I'm working with clients and I have to tell them that their spouse has to be served, right away there's like this image, and I don't know if it's coming from TV or
Probably,
movies,
I hear that often.
that this is going to be this really aggressive guy.
Right.
Sometimes I even think it's like a guy who's carrying a gun, who's going to walk up to their spouse and be really aggressive and throw the documents at them.
Right.
And it causes a lot of anxiety and fear in my clients. So can you describe what you do?
Sure. I approach people with the utmost respect, and if I'm serving them papers, whether they're aware or not that these papers are coming, I'm very courteous and respectful, and I explain to them what is happening, what's been filed, and what it means to them. If I have to approach an individual in a workplace, I'm very discreet. I would put the papers in an envelope and try to remove them from other coworkers, possibly step outside or into a side office. I respect their privacy, and it's not their coworkers' business, quite frankly.
Right. And that's good to know, because it's not like, it's good to know, number one, how discreet you are and respectful, because I know you're doing that because, number one, you've worked in a law firm, but you're not trying to make the situation any worse for our clients.
Right, correct. I understand there's emotion involved, and like I said, I'm just respectful of what they're going through and what, you know, what they can expect, basically.
And I know just from experience that Mark, if I call him and say, hey, this person would prefer that you actually just set up a time with them and they'll accept the paperwork from you.
Right.
You can do that too.
Certainly, I've had cases where a spouse would actually meet me at the door and introduce me to their spouse and tell them that this person is here to give you these papers.
Okay. And you've been doing it for 10 years, so I'm sure you've dealt with different personalities, and have not had a problem being respectful and just getting the job done.
Correct. I would say most cases, people actually thank me, even though I'm serving them with papers, because I'm kind to them. I wish them well, and 9 times out of 10, people I serve will say, "Okay, great, thank you."
That's nice.
So
to know.
I do get good responses. I've never really had a bad response from anyone I've served.
And that's good, especially in family law, where clients are really concerned about how their case is going to start,
Right.
and then how it continues, because if they feel like things are going to get aggressive right away, then they're going to worry about the rest of their case.
Correct. And I would ask for your client's input as to any special information they would like me to have with serving someone. In other words, if there a time where children will not be present, or if that is an issue, to make sure
That they're not at home.
Right. I've served individuals during a meeting where the spouses are exchanging the child for, let's say, visitation or whatnot. And I'm always very careful to time it where I'm not
Around the kids.
around the kids or doing anything in front of the kids.
That's great to know. So typically, since you just mentioned that, you need some background information about the person, like, their name, what do they look like, a good time and place, anything else?
Right, exactly. Depending on the circumstance, if they're going to be very easy to find, if they tell me this person will be here at this time, that's great. If not, a little bit of personal identification, like perhaps even a photograph,
Okay.
or a description, or what vehicle the person might drive. If they would like me to serve at a workplace, what the individual does there, and how easily the person can be found there.
Okay.
That type of thing.
That makes your job easier, and we know then it gets done.
Right, exactly.
Well, thank you, Mark, for putting a face to what process servers are, because I
Yeah.
think this will help most of everyone who's watching understand that this isn't something to be worried and fearful about,
Right.
that it's a very professional act, and that you get the job done without making their situation any worse.
That's my goal. Right.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for watching
Yep.
this episode of Sterling TV, and I'll see you guys next time on a future episode. Have a great day.